Burnouts, we are back. I am your host, Christian Felipe, aka Fired Up Felipe, aka the Chief Burnout, aka the Flying Dutchman. Thank you for tuning in once again. Please make sure to like and subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, share with your friends, comment, do all that. I've been really appreciating the engagement thus far on socials, and a huge shout out to those who have already subscribed. Thank you very much. Now, whew, boy, do we got some spice for this pod. It'll be a quick one, just me today, recapping what we've seen from preseason games 3 and 4. Both losses, but remember, unlike a real regular season NBA game, the wins and losses aren't what's important here. We're literally playing Exhibit 10 guys for huge chunks of the second half. What is important is to focus on how the team is operating, and if we're seeing growth from our young guys. And well, that we're definitely seeing. Ever since Spo called out Ware in that post-game presser after game 2, he's been on one. So we'll be digging deep into that. We've also been able to get some decent insights from some of our other young players. We're just shy of 1 week away from the start of the regular season, and let me tell you, again, despite the losses in the preseason, I couldn't be more excited for this Heat season. I know Hero is likely out till mid-November, but we still have a lot to look forward to. Now, let's get into it. Before we hop into preseason action, before we recap Game 3 and Game 4, which I totally understand if you want to just go ahead and skip ahead to those moments, that's cool with me. I understand. I just want to talk about something that I'm looking forward to, especially as an NBA fan, as anyone who's listening to this is one as well. There's been a lot of hoopla, a lot of discussion going around, especially because of Adam Silver's silly and dumb comments regarding the league being a highlight league and, all these different streaming services and how much it would cost the average fan to be able to watch every game, which, again, the average fan does not watch every game. I think the main pain point still, especially as Heat fans, but this is in most markets, is the local broadcast rights. You need to have FanDuel Sports to be able to watch the games legally if you're a Heat fan, which is annoying, right? But in terms of national games, this is actually really exciting for the league, and I don't know why he didn't highlight this more. There's actually going to be more games available to watch than ever before. Last season, there was 172 national games. This season, there are 247 national games. That's a 44% increase in games that will be able to be streamed by all of us, which is incredibly exciting. There's a new rights deal that's taking effect this year, which is the reason for this. We have new streaming partners in NBC and Peacock. ABC and ESPN will continue. And then we also have Prime Video. So I do encourage, there's a real cool video by Mr. Buck who highlighted this in depth. I'm going to go over it lightly. But from the video and from what the NBA has released, the way it's going to work out is there's going to be a schedule. On Monday, Peacock's going to have doubleheaders. So for those of you who don't have Peacock, you're not going to be able to watch games on Monday, except for, local games. But that's the only day of the week that it's on Peacock. On Tuesday, they're on NBC, which is the Peacock partner. I believe if you have Peacock, you probably have both. That's the hope. I think this is more so for cable packages where you would be able to see it on NBC and maybe not Peacock. Regardless, Monday and Tuesdays are Peacock/NBC. Wednesday is ESPN. Thursday is Prime, which I just want to mention, when people are talking about the average cost, you're forgetting that, the majority of people have Amazon Prime. You're not probably paying extra to get Amazon Prime. You probably have it. Most people. And I'm sorry if you don't. I'm sorry if this whole time you've been able to do without Overlord Jeff Bezos living in your life. But if you don't have Prime, it's really convenient. You should probably get it. But Thursday's on Prime. Friday, ESPN and Prime. Saturday, Prime and ABC. And then Sunday, ABC and NBC. And that's going to be the schedule throughout the whole season. The only differences here, which are kind of exciting, tip-off, the first game of the season, and NBA Cup games, or maybe just the final, are on all 3 networks. So you'll be able to watch it regardless of what streaming service you have. Christmas, again, is just going to be on ESPN and ABC. The All-Star game is going to be on both NBC and ESPN. The playoffs will, alternate between all 3, and the finals, just ABC. They will own the finals, which is exciting to see as well. And then just in addition, just as this happened, there were some other things that were affected by this, right? There's more national TV games. So who gained games? Some teams lost games. Not a lot of teams lost games because of the fact that overall we just got more. I think the Heat might have lost some, which is fine. Right? I understand why we wouldn't have a lot of national TV games right now. But what is cool is finally the Thunder got some respect. They are tied with the Lakers, Warriors, and Knicks with 34 games the most. Of course, the Lakers and Knicks are TV media darlings, and as well as, I mean, they're competitive teams. Lakers have LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Warriors have Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, and the Knicks might be the best team in the East with Jalen Brunson and Cat and Miles Bridges. Not Miles Bridges, Mikal Bridges. Apologies to you, Mikal. You are not Miles. You are a good person, as far as I'm aware. Um, Rockets jumped from 3 to 28 games, which is huge. Last year they were the second seed. They added KD. Despite the injury to Fred VanVleet, they're still going to be a very good team. The Thunder, by the way, last year had 19 less than they do this year. So they were only at 16 games, and now they're at 34. I'm sorry, 15 games. Math bad. Pistons and Cavs got 15 more games, which is really exciting because they're both going to be very good teams this season. Again, so I think they're distributing the games better because of the fact that there are more games available to watch. They're able to not only give us the ratings darlings of the Lakers, Warriors, Knicks. I don't know where the Celtics land on this list because of the injuries and stuff, but Celtics typically get good ratings. They're also able to give us the teams who play really, really well and who deserve more national TV time. And then, last but not least, what this means for the revenue is kind of insane, and what it will mean for contracts as they continue to scale, or the new contracts as we continue to get them signed. Last season, the revenue was under $10 billion, just under. And that includes the TV rights deal from last season, from the previous seasons, tickets, sponsorships, local TV deals, and other stuff. Most of that, is from a few big things. With this new deal, even if nothing else rises, no more tickets, tickets don't sell more, sponsors don't sponsor more, whatever, all of that, nothing else rises. Just counting on this new TV rights deal, the league revenue rises almost 40% to $15 billion. So from just under 10 billion to just under 15 billion, which is insane numbers to think about. It's a ton of revenue for the league. Players are going to be getting paid so much money. So it's interesting to see how that will affect cap space going forward. And if it rises even more than that, I imagine it will. It probably will hit 15 to 16 billion dollars, maybe more. So just something to keep in mind, something that I'm excited about, that there's more games to watch legally and easier, right? But we'll skip this now and just get right into game 3 and 4 of preseason. So let's just jump into it, shall we? Thank you for sticking with me. We're going to go back in time a little bit to Wednesday of last week, where the Heat played the Spurs in our first preseason matchup against them. Very exciting because the last time that Ware and Wemby matched up, we kind of were able to get some excitement, an extra glimpse at what Ware could possibly be. We drafted this 7-footer who had a lot of raw potential, who everyone saw that the slights against him were more towards his motor. That was the biggest thing against him. Previous to that, he was considered, I believe, a top 5 pick, but he fell to us. And what better organization than the Heat to try to develop that motor? If we can't get it out of you, then honestly, probably no one can. So we got this mythical matchup with the alien in Wemby. I think that's what they're still calling him. And Ware, the werewolf, Kal-El, the Superman, whatever we want to go with. The point being, I don't know. After this game, after that Spurs Heat matchup, is it safe to say, or at least to question, is Ware better than Wemby? No, but just definitively no, not yet, not probably ever, but no, he's not. But in this game, he did outplay him. It's a preseason game. I know it doesn't really matter too much. Wemby is just getting into the flow of things. His position and status on his roster is completely different than Ware's. He's a year ahead of Ware as well. But in this game, Wemby went 4 for 9 from the field in 21 minutes. He went 0 for 1 from 3. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, and a whopping 5 turnovers, which that's nice to see from us on defense on the big man. Ware, on the other hand, went 12 of 19 in 26 minutes. That's pretty good. 3 of 6 from three, shooting 50% from three still. Game high 29 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal, and only 2 turnovers. So, I mean, in this one game, again, a lot of those minutes were against the Spurs bench and G Leaguers, as they have some people out as well. So, it's easy to look at a one game sample size and make any deductions you want, but that shouldn't be the case here. It is inspiring for us to see, as this was the first game back since Spo's call out, and Ware took that matchup against Wemby personally, some would say. Our defense also was obviously loading up on Wemby. There was a lot of times where he was getting a help defender getting on him. That's what led to some of those turnovers and sloppy passes. But nonetheless, Ware played really well in this game. We love to see it. We love to have a 7-footer who can defend these types of 7-footers. He did have a block on Wemby, which was crazy to see. You don't see people block Wemby often because it requires a lot of size. But to get that block, it led to a fast break for us. That was very nice to see. There was a series of like highlight plays from Ware within a very short time frame. He hit this fadeaway three with the shot clock winding down while walking backwards. Like not a step back three, like not the common move. No. He was literally like walking backwards. It was like Ray Allen-esque from that like game 6 finals, where just, running backwards, hit a fadeaway three. There was another one where Kashad Johnson, who's been playing pretty well for us so far, at least in his minutes, had hustled for an offensive rebound. He got it to Ware, and Ware does the same thing. He walks backwards again, just paces backwards and hits another three. And then after that, right after that series of plays, he got that shutdown on Wemby with a block. It was just a really nice segment of time to watch there. And just digging into some comparison stats, right? While we're having fun, right? While we can still live in this joy, while we can revel in the moment. Ware is, of course, going into his second year. Wemby is going into his third. Wemby is, just listing off the normal qualities here, Wemby is 7'5", totally normal thing. Ware is 7 foot. Both are 21 years old, where Wemby is slightly older, but not much. Wemby's first season in the NBA, he shot 53.4% from two, 32.6% from three. All right. Ware's first season in the NBA, he shot 62.4% from two and 32.4% from three. So a little bit better from two, a little bit pretty much equal from three. Again, Wemby is the focal point of his team's offense, where Ware was a bench player, a rookie coming in and getting limited minutes, especially towards the second half of the season. He didn't play much in the beginning. So very different circumstances that have to be taken into account when you're looking at these numbers. But in season 2, we see an uptick from Wemby, right? He's going from shooting 53 to 58.7% from two, slight uptick there. And then from 32% from three to 35.9, almost 36% from three, which is much better, more of a threat. Ware's preseason thus far, again, we haven't gotten a season 2 of Ware, and it's just preseason. It's only been 4 games, small sample size. Again, I'm just living in the moment, so let me. In Ware's preseason, he's been shooting 53% from two, so a little worse than what Wemby's second season was, but who cares, because he's shooting 50% from three, 8 of 16. Again, I do not expect Ware to shoot 50% from three for the season, but 8 of 16 is a decent amount in 4 games. It shows that he's taking them often, right? He's shooting 4 a game, which is a decent amount for a center in the limited minutes that he's playing. If you take that into per 36, he's probably shooting a little bit closer to 5, 6, 7 a game. And that's very hopeful for us, because at the end of the day, while a lot of us are hoping on Bam to become a better 3-point shooter, we've been hoping on that for forever. It really helps us in our offense if we're able to have a 5 next to him who can shoot the 3 when we do play someone else at the 5. And if Ware is able to shoot these shots, and again, small sample size, but just the type of shots he's making from 3, those walking backwards threes, those are hard shots. They're not set still, catch and shoot threes, which he has hit some of those as well, like the easier ones. But I'm definitely optimistic on Ware's potential to be able to space the floor for us as a big man. So that's awesome for us to see. Again, this is just looking at the offense. On defense, while Ware has been pretty good for us, especially early on in his career, Wemby is literally in the 100th percentile for blocks. This guy, he was averaging like 4 or 5 blocks a game. He's had 10 block games. He's a much better passer than Ware as well. And again, he is the focal point of his team. Ware's defensive stats are good, but not Wemby levels yet. Just kidding, mostly. Again, Just as we continue to look at some of the other call-outs from this game, Kasparis had a game high plus minus of 16 in his first preseason game with us, coming off of injury, which is really exciting for us to see. He went 2 for 7 from the field and 1 for 7 from three specifically. Or I'm sorry, I think it was 1 for 5 from three specifically. Messed up in my notes here. But he did have 10 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and 3 turnovers, which honestly, a concern for us with Kasparis, two concerns for us with Kasparis, were his turnovers to assist ratio, which in this game was pretty good, and his ability to take people off the dribble. And in this game, he actually did that once or twice, which is exciting. I'm not saying that he will be doing this all the time against NBA level talent and defenders, but the fact that he's already starting to work on that and increase that is good. And then on D, he is a pit bull, which is what I think Spo called him, a pit bull or a bulldog, which is probably the highest compliment Spo can give to someone. He is taking after Davion Mitchell. He is very active. He led to a lot of sloppy passes, led to a lot of turnovers. He's really playing well out there. Our pace as a team for that game was 105.5, so still pretty high, maybe not as high as game 1, game 2, but playing pretty fast still. Our starters did not play well overall, so I'm going to ignore calling them out. It's a preseason game. Not going to worry too much about it. Same as I'm not going to worry too much about Bam's cold shooting so far. He has been more aggressive, drawing fouls more often, which is exciting. We're hoping that this is a season where Bam draws more fouls maybe than ever before. The shooting should tick up. I mean, he has a long track record of being able to shoot the ball decently, not from three necessarily, but just in general. He's also just playing different. This is a new system for him. He's a leader now on this team that we're seeing when he's on the floor and off the floor, which is great for us. I did want to make a joke, and I guess I'm still mentioning it, right? That maybe his shooting's been off because he's been helping Asia out during their season, and maybe he's been practicing with a WNBA ball. So those shots are just not falling where they should be. I'm kidding, I think. Thankfully, the WNBA season is over, which congratulations to Aja Wilson on another championship with the Las Vegas Aces and winning MVP. She's just had an incredible season. But thankfully, that's over. Bam is not torn between two different leagues anymore. He's going to just be playing with us and just here in Miami, not flying to Aces games. But in general, in this game, we had a lot of momentum. Our rookies played with poise. Bam and Jovic did have some nice plays together. It's cool to see how their playmaking is kind of combining together and seeing how that can fit in this new offense. And Bam also had some quotes, leaning into his leadership again, talking about Ware. He mentioned that Ware is one of those guys that don't have a ceiling. The potential is unlimited. So as hard as Spo is being on Ware, it's for a reason. It's because what we see in Ware, it's true. He is 7 feet tall. He has a decent handle for his size. He plays pretty well on defense. He does have his lapses, which we've pointed out many, many times, but he can shoot the three. He can get offensive rebounds and has soft touch around the rim. He can have those high flying posters because he can catch the ball very high in the air for those alley oops. And in general, even without an alley oop, he can dribble the ball up and get a poster himself. He's athletic in that sense. His ceiling really is very, very high. And when I commented that he'll probably never be as good as Wemby, I think that's safe to say, not a hot take. It's not because of any lack of talent on Ware's side. It's more so just what Wemby is. Wemby has the potential to be one of the best players of all time. Ware has a lot of potential. We just need to see it maximized. It's too soon to make a prediction like that. We got to see it continue to get more consistent, which we're starting to see in this preseason. It is happening more consistently. Some of those lapses are still happening, but we're seeing it. We're seeing it more consistently. Let's see how it looks in the regular season. Let's see if he could earn himself that starter spot, and who gets moved out in that case. I'd imagine it's Jovic in that scenario, but we will see. I'm hoping that our team forces Spo to have to make tough decisions in terms of this lineup. But we're going to take a quick break here and then get to segment 2 here, which is just going to be talking about the Magic game, which happened last night, Sunday. Awesome. We're back. We're talking about the Magic. We played them for our second time in this preseason, this time in their house, not in Puerto Rico. We lost this game again, of course, so our preseason record is not great. But as we mentioned at the top, don't really care about the wins and losses. We had a lot of players who were not in this game necessarily. We had, let's call it out for you all. Who did we have out? We had Jovic, Hero, Rozier out. We had Davian Mitchell coming back and actually playing for us this game, and then we had a DNP for Bam, who was just over watching his Boothang win a championship, which is awesome for him. Congrats to him and Aja and everyone. Miami Heat fans, we are also taking partial ownership of the Las Vegas Aces championship, the Las Vegas Aces championship. So congrats to us. Wiggins was also out. Powell was out. Drew Smith was out. Spo had mentioned, as I kind of talked about with Jovic's crazy schedule, Spo had mentioned that we sat Ware we sat Jovic to avoid the back spasms flaring up, as he did, right after our playoffs ended. 1 week later, he was training with the Serbian team. He played in EuroLeague, and then immediately after that, he was at the Heat training camp and then playing in preseason. And before that, even, he was playing in no, he did not play in Summer League, I don't believe. So never mind about that. But point being, he played a lot. He has played a lot. So they're just kind of erring on the side of caution. I will mention that Orlando also had Paolo Banchero out. Suggs is out with an injury. Desmond Bain was out, and Mo Wagner was out. The other Wagner brother, Franz, did play and played very well. We will see. Also, interesting note, but thus far going into the season, into the preseason, Ware is the leading rebounder. I think after this game, he probably still is. He tallied those up in this game. Yeah, and Ware's just continuing to show his growth in this game. He didn't slow down. I think that was the fear with most Heat fans, right? Spo called him out game 2. Ware showed up game 3. Is now where he chills out for game 4. He's like, whatever, I did my thing, because that's kind of been a pattern of his in the past. But no, he played very well. Again, he did have some lapses, and as I've noticed with him, as we noticed in Summer League, I feel like when he's out there with G Leaguers and 10-day guys, those lapses start to show a little bit more. He had this one sloppy pass, I think, in the third quarter after getting a rebound, where he was just, quickly on our side of the field, our side of the court, still passing the ball to a teammate to dribble it up. But it was a very slow, very weak pass, and it got stolen. Easy bucket for Orlando Magic. He got pulled out immediately. He didn't play for the rest of the game, which was turned into a blowout for the Heat Orlando Magic's bench and G Leaguers versus our mostly bench and G Leaguers and 10-day guys. So nothing really to care about there, but the lapse in Ware's attention did show. Again, like, I know Spo and the coaching staff is probably drilling into him that it doesn't matter who you're out there with. You have to play your best at all times. But I do also empathize with Ware and get it in those scenarios. It's like, it's preseason. It's the end of the third quarter. Like, you're chilling. You're out there with guys who aren't going to be playing basketball on your team. But nonetheless, another thing just to mention here, the pace was a little slower. I kind of predicted this would be the case because we had so many starters and playmakers out. Jovic wasn't in there. Bam wasn't in there. Norman Powell wasn't in there. Even Wiggins himself can run the fast break pretty fast. So it was a little bit slower. It was a 103.5 pace. In the Magic game, it was like 105 point something. So just a tiny bit slower, especially coming off those other games before that. Other box score callouts. This one is more so just to mention that if you're looking at the box score, Kasparis only played like 4.5 minutes. That's because he got checked out with what looked like a non-contact hip injury. If someone saw the play where he got injured and has a clip of it, please send it. I looked for the play he got checked out, and at least on that specific play, he didn't get hit by anyone, unless it happened during, when the broadcast is showing commercials and stuff. But I didn't see it. Hopefully it's nothing major. It's just listed as hip soreness as of right now. So hopefully he's back, because he's been a bright spot for us. And I did find myself throughout this game kind of wishing he was in the lineup more, because with so many of those other playmakers out, I was like, let's see Cass out there. He can get the offense going. He can make some fun passes, but he wasn't able to play much this game at all. So hoping that he's back for the rest of regular season. We have another game tonight, so if there is an injury, he might not play tonight. We'll see. Ware, again, man, as we were talking about, he picked up where he left off. He went 9 for 17 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, 50% again. He had a game high 24 points, 10 rebounds, 3 of those on offense, 1 assist, 2 steals, only 1 turnover again. And Kashad, who, if you're just looking at the box score, he missed most of his shots, but he was playing pretty well, Kashad Johnson. He's the only starter who had a positive plus-minus this game. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was very active. You could tell he's very athletic as well. So, I mean, I liked what I saw from him. Again, I'm not expecting much from him in our actual regular season. We have a lineup that is pretty deep once everyone is healthy. That probably puts him at like the 14th, 13th man. So again, don't really expect too much from Kashad, but he was playing well. Larson was hit or miss today, but I will say a bright spot that continues to show from his play in Summer League, and I didn't actually see from his play in EuroLeague, but he drew 6 fouls. He is just really, really good at drawing fouls. He also committed 4 fouls, 2 of which were a little ticky-tacky, but point being is that he's really good at getting defenders to foul him on drives, so that's good anytime that you can get free throws. It's just a nice switch up for the offense. It's free buckets. It gets your players rest. It's, free throws are good. Who would have thought? And getting players in foul trouble, also good. Who would have thought? Mitchell, Davion, while he was back, and it was nice to see him, he was playing really good D, which it must be the most frustrating thing in the world to have Davion Mitchell hounding you at the half court or before even the half court line. He only attempted 1 shot, which was a bit odd, but he played under 10 minutes. Spo mentioned just wanting to ramp him up slowly, that Davion wanted to play more, but we're taking our time. We're not wanting him to go out there after not playing for a while, after being injured and hurt himself again, possibly. So smart call. On the other end, I don't want to call out Magic players too much because they're not on our team, but worth noting that Franz Wagner, was able to go 10 for 10 from the free throw line, which is crazy because his shot from 3 is so ugly. And usually when you have a good free throw rate, it translates to your 3-point shot, but he doesn't hit threes. And I know they're hoping for him to kind of develop that or get that back. He missed most of his shots today, even not just his 3-point shots, but it does make me wonder if he's redundant with Paolo Banchero a little bit. Like, they play a very similar game. I mean, obviously they play well together, and I'm not saying that they need to make a trade or something, right? But I just wonder if there's better fits where Wagner highlights another team better, and maybe the Orlando Magic get something better that fits closer to Banchero, or vice versa. But I imagine Banchero's the guy they would stick with if they were ever in a scenario that they were making some kind of trade. Some other key call-outs from Orlando, again, small. Oh, I guess opposite of small. Goga Batadze was able to bully us on the boards, which is unfortunate. I mean, we were playing very small guys when Ware wasn't out there. I think our tallest guy was like 6'8", and Goga is 6'11", almost 7 foot. He's also huge. There was a play that, I appreciate the willingness from Ware. Ware tried to back Goga down and just immediately flooded my mind with the image of Cat trying to back down Boogie. Didn't work. Goga's huge. He's not only the same height as Ware, but probably has 250 pounds on Ware. So didn't work, but I appreciate the effort, Ware. Maybe in another year or two when you get some more meat on those bones. So we'll see it. There was some great plays though from Ware overall. Obviously, to get a stat line like that, he loves doing this pump fake where he drives. And then on one of those, it was really smart. It was really smart of him. He probably could have just went up for the 3, as the guy who was contesting him on it would have been Tyus Jones. But regardless, he got him off position. He drove in. They tried to draw a charge on Ware, and he read it immediately. And he kind of paused and then just did a little easy soft touch basket, which was really exciting to see. As anticlimactic as it might have been, it very easily could have been him going up for a dunk and getting the charge drawn on him. He also seems to love his little turnaround jump hook move. It didn't land much this game. The touch is nice. Like, it's not like they're airballing. It's close. So interesting to see if that stays a part of his arsenal, or if we kind of start bringing that out. But the fact that he is such a threat from 3 so far, again, shooting 50% from 3 thus far, don't expect that to continue. But even if he's just a 38%, 40% from 3 shooter, then it does open up his ability to drive, and he is athletic, like I was saying earlier. So he can get those high-flying dunks. He has really good touch around the rim. He can get his own misses on the offensive board. So it's really exciting to see how his 3-point shot really affects his whole game. Where, again, he made that mistake, and when he checked out, the Heat struggled hard. So again, not paying attention to the win-loss, not paying attention to the final score. We had Jameer Young out there balling out, the infamous Jalen Brunson of the G League. There were some highlight plays from him, talking about him. I wish him all the success in the world. He will probably play for us in Sioux Falls. I didn't care too much. It was the fourth quarter mostly when he was balling out. He was playing all right for us in the third quarter and second when he was playing with the lineup. But again, it's you don't want to read too much into like these players who aren't even on the roster playing against other players who aren't on rosters. It's just not worth it. Some interesting stuff too, just aside from Ware. Again, like Larson's foul drawing, he's just really good at getting people to bite. Hawkes was even able to draw some good fouls. He got Wagner to bite on a pump from three, and then he was able to get behind him and do that hostage dribble to make an easy shot. So that's exciting. Hawkes is a crafty player, so just hoping that he gets more in his toolbox, hoping that that three does kind of tick up for him, so it allows him to play differently, because Wagner biting on that three is what got him to be able to get, the position to put him in a hostage dribble and make an easy bucket. But if you don't trust his three, then you're never going to get those pumps, right? So, never going to get those bites on the pump, at least. So hopefully we see more of that. Again, just pointing out, Spo in the post game, he kind of called out all the attention that's been on Ware and on Spo's post-game comments on Ware, which does seem odd for preseason. I think the league is just, they're seeing the highlights, they're seeing Ware's stat lines, and they're like, what the hell is Spo even talking about? I was listening to the Mismatch podcast, and they got their timelines a little messed up, and they were calling out Spo's call out of Ware and attributing it to Ware's game 3 performance, but that was not the case. It was a call out of game 2. So very different. But regardless, Spo here just wanted to mention that he is encouraged by Ware. He's getting better. You see the talent. He mentions that, Ware is still making mistakes, but he'd much rather coach someone who's willing to be coached while putting up 24 and 10 and can figure out how to get those winning moments. He's impressed by all his time on the defensive glass. So yeah, the point is, as good as Ware is, as good as he's looking out there, it's easy to get complacent and just think, I'm not gonna listen to this guy. I'm already putting up 24 and 10. I got my numbers, the Whiteside idea. But he's not. Ware seems to be taking it in stride, listening to the feedback he's getting from the coaches, listening to the feedback and encouragement he's getting from Bam and the other players. So this is what we're wanting. We're wanting him to not settle for what he is. You see a lot of these freak athletes / people who are extremely tall and athletic. They can sometimes find their way out of the league very fast because their whole life they just relied on being more athletic and taller than the people they played against in high school and in college. In the NBA, you need more than that. You need a lot of effort, you need a lot of concentration, you need brains, you need skill. So we just don't want to see that for Ware. I mean, we've seen how DeAndre Ayton's career has gone so far. We've seen how, man, why am I forgetting the first pick for the Golden State Warriors, Wiseman, who they hoped to turn out well. We've seen a lot of these players before. We've seen Whiteside. They can get those numbers and then they flame out. It happens all the time, and we don't want that for Ware. Not that I expect him to flame out at this point. He seems better than that already, but we want the best for him. So let's go into it. Looking into just final thoughts, overview, just some reflections, right, on what we've seen thus far. Just for funsies, I wanted to see Ware's per 36. And it's starting to be obvious that his feel for the game is real. He's not just tall, he's aware. Sorry, did there like he's whatever. Ware's per 36 for the preseason. This is insane. 32 points, 17.4 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 of 6 from 3, and 4.7 offensive rebounds of those 17 rebounds. So 32 points and 17 rebounds is his per 36. I don't expect that to be, if he even played 36 minutes in a regular season, I don't necessarily expect that. The rebounds, maybe, but the points, not necessarily. You'd be playing against better competition if you're playing 36 minutes, but he's playing really, really well. And man, am I excited to see that in the regular season. Like, I couldn't be more excited for next week. Tonight, we're going to be playing the Hawks. I don't think they've announced lineups at the time of recording this pod just yet, but just hoping to see more of that performance. I am curious to see how many of our starters continue to play as preseason ends. I think we have 2 games left. We have the Hawks tonight and I think 1 more against the Grizz. So we're almost done with preseason. We've almost gotten all of it. We're practicing hard. Spo even mentioned that part of the reason that some of these players are resting is because of how hard they've been at practice, and he's emphasizing that more than necessarily the preseason games. So it's just exciting. Something that keeps coming to mind, and again, to reference the mismatch, I'm a podcast junkie. Vernon often would mention something that he loves, and this idea that how many players on your team suck or stink, right? And the least amount of players you have that stink on your roster, the more it speaks to your ability to win, especially in the regular season. And right now, we have a lot of players that don't stink. Again, we're missing that like star, that full-on star, unless someone takes a leap, unless Ware takes a leap, who knows? But, we have at least 9, 10 players who are good NBA players, maybe more than that. And this is just off the top of my head. But let's get it out of here. Just wanted to keep this one short and sweet. Next pod should be expected for Thursday. We'll be having a guest. We'll be talking about the Hawks game as well as some other topics that have just been kind of going around the league, some fun stuff, and just getting excited for the regular season to start. Thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, do all the stuff. Burnouts, row.